So for me, the whole story begins back in the year 2010. August of 2010, exactly. I remember answering a Craigslist ad about working at a brand new boutique fitness gym at the front desk. And that's what I did. I went in and I applied for a front desk position at SoulCycle, Tribeca, and that's where it all began. I worked at the front desk for about 2 months before I auditioned to be an instructor. And I can still remember the day that I was deciding on actually going through with the audition to be an instructor. I said, okay, if I do it, then maybe I won't make it. And then it was going to be very odd and very strange for me working at the front desk. So at the last minute, I decided to go with it. And then I got accepted into the training program. And then I started the training and I got on my road to being an instructor. And my first year as an instructor was very difficult. It took me exactly a year to have my very first sold out class. And I can remember exactly what day that was. I can remember everything about that class. When you finally, after a year of work, lots of ups and downs emotionally, and you have that very first sold out class. It was New Year's Eve 2011. And I can still feel the euphoria and the crowd giving me that energy. The same energy that I felt whenever I was studying and working in musical theater, singing on cruise ships, singing on stages. I had spent practically my entire adult life preparing to be in the spotlight in one way. But I never quite imagined it being in a room with 40 to 60 bikes, hearing loud music with lights underneath. Sometimes people are not very responsive. Sometimes they're screaming very loud. But I always need the immediate response of the audience. I always need to feel that they are engaged with me, that they're giving me that feedback directly so that I know that I'm doing a good job. And then for the entire year of 2012, it was like I had finally found my groove, and that year taught me how to be an instructor. I can still remember a lot of the songs that were popular during that time. I think I became an instructor by listening to David Guetta's Nothing But the Beat. That song right now is like 12, 13 years old. But whenever I put that song into the playlist, the energy just comes up, and I still am taken back to how it felt whenever I first started playing that song. So I continued at SoulCycle, and I quickly found out that I was just one of many instructors. I had built a following, I had built my own community. I met some of my best friends of my entire life. Being an instructor at SoulCycle in New York, some of them are still good friends of mine today. But I understood that there was a limit as to what I could achieve being one of 100 instructors in this growing machine. And then in, I believe it was August of 2014, and I moved to Mexico City. And making that move was probably the best professional decision I ever made. I took the opportunity. I sort of had this fire in my belly of making it work, but it was also a very difficult time just dealing with the natural difficulties of being an expat, moving to a different country. I was there for about 6 months working hard along with the CEO at the time, and we opened up in June or July of 2015, and then boom, it was immediately a success, and it just became this huge thing in Mexico City. And suddenly I go to the grocery store and everybody knows who you are, and you have this personality, you have this name recognition, you sort of feel like you're living in a fishbowl. During the first 6 months training, one of the people that I trained, little did I know she was going to become my wife, but she doesn't like for me to mention that I actually trained her. But that's how our story together began. Maria and I met in 2015. I think it was April of 2015 to be exact. And believe it or not, in those first several months, it was a little contentious. We didn't really like each other. In fact, she hated me because I was a very difficult instructor. I expected a lot, and I'm sure she'll tell you lots about her version of the story. But I will say that I put her through the tough training, and then once she became an instructor, once she did her community ride, I gave her all the props. I told her that that was, and it was, the best community ride that I had seen from any of the prospective instructors at that time. And then we started on our journey together. We dated for years. We've been married for almost 5 years now. We got married right before COVID. And COVID gave us the opportunity to prepare for the big move that at least I wanted. I came to Madrid for the first time in 2018. I came to Madrid for the first time in 2018, and I immediately fell in love with the city. And believe it or not, I'm telling you the truth. The first night I was here, I arrived to Madrid at about 10 a.m. on the flight, and I got settled in my hotel, and then I walked around the city, and by about 7 or 8 o'clock that night, I remember being in the San Miguel market, and I said, I am going to live here. I don't know how, I had no idea. I didn't know how many people I would have to sort of elbow to make it happen. But I knew then that I was going to live here, and here I am. About 3 years later, I actually moved to Madrid. I think Madrid combines the best of everything. I love New York. Really never wanted to leave New York, but it was necessary to leave New York in order to accomplish and to acquire the other things that I wanted in life. I think I could have still been in New York if I had never left. I think I would have still been looking for the perfect relationship. I would have been looking for the perfect job. Mexico City offered a lot of stability, but there was a lot of things that was missing. Madrid combined everything. I felt like I was in New York. I can walk to every neighborhood. I can take the metro. Speaking of teaching, I can teach in a class here and I can have people from all over the world. I feel that diversity is the founding or the building block of my entire life. I've built everything that I believe in on the idea of being surrounded by diversity, being around people from all different religions, different races, different cultures, speaking different languages, and that probably is what I love most about Madrid. In one class, I can have people from Poland, I can have people from Russia, I can have people from Germany, from France, from the UK, from Spain, from Latin America, from Mexico, from Venezuela, from Colombia. Usually I'm the only person from the United States, but I can have a worldwide community, and that, I think, is what's incredible about Madrid. It is this very diverse worldwide community. And the thing that brings us all together is music. I can play a certain song, whether it's I Wanna Dance with Somebody by Whitney Houston, which is a song that has been a part of my life ever since I was 7 years old, to Titanium by David Guetta, to Clarity by Zedd, or to They Don't Care About Us by Michael Jackson, no matter what it is. And really, no matter their age or their gender or anything, music is what brings us all together. What song can I bring in? Because I know that the music coincides with the workout. I know if I have them doing a very fast jog, or we're gonna run out of the saddle for a while, I know that I wanna give them that reward by giving them that song that is going to take them back, that's going to bring a unified emotion, that's going to bring us together. So speaking about Madrid, when I arrived to Madrid to live here, I remember my first class and I was like, uh-oh, did I make a mistake? Because I can remember that the music that I was used to playing, I could tell that it was totally different from what they were used to. And then began the task of me feeling connected with the community here and really changing their perception of what we do, what it is that we do, changing that perception into more of a direction that I think it should go. I wanted to really give them all different kinds of options as to think about what it is that goes on in that room, letting them understand that we can play music from all different types of genres. But at the same time, it challenged me to be more open. You know, I was used to playing certain types of music from certain genres, from certain styles, and it gave me a new skill. I sort of became a music producer in the process. I mean, the best thing about what I do now, I've always spent a little bit of time using music programs to redo the song in a different way, speed it up, slow it down, but never have I invested as much time with my music as I do here in Madrid. It's a labor of love. I can spend as long as 3 hours working on a playlist now and really enjoy it. And then you get that emotion, you get that butterfly. It's like when you're getting ready to perform. But every class, every 7 or 8 classes a week that I teach, everyone is that nervous feeling of, okay, I've created this playlist which tells this story of what kind of mood I'm in today. And are they going to feel what I feel whenever I was creating it? Are they going to feel in the moment, in the process? And that is the exciting part. That's the part that makes you a little nervous, but it gives you all kinds of emotions all at the same time. So after several months, I came to realize that I had not made a mistake. The community and I were connecting with each other. I think I owe my career here in Madrid to 3 very important women, very popular women. First being Britney Spears, the second one being Rihanna, and probably most consequential is the Artist of the Year, Person of the Year, Taylor Swift. And I was able to use those 3 to find a connection with the community and getting them to listen to those songs, and then me experimenting with Bad Bunny and Quevedo and, Karol G. I like to think of what I do as being important because I know that people invest their time, more than the money, more than whatever they pay to come have this experience with me. I actually value time to be more important than money. And people who spend their time, they wake up at 6 a.m. for a 7 a.m. class, or they take the time out of their Friday evening to come, spend 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. with me. What I do can make their day. Also, if I don't do what I do, if I don't take it seriously, I'd like to think that I make their day better, that I am a positive influence in their life. Lots of time people will come up to me and they'll say, after class, you're my therapy. This is what I use for my therapy. That feels incredible. They put a lot of emotional investment into what I do. They're looking forward to it. I can see the look on their faces. They have this expectation of being taken to this place emotionally, and it's my job to take them there. And I take that responsibility very, very seriously. My pre-class routine nowadays is I'm only on the bike for 45 minutes, but I start prepping for the class 2 hours at least. If I don't feel like I'm prepped and in the space 2 hours before the class, then I don't feel like I'm prepared for the class. So I have to, today, for instance, I had a class at 7 a.m. I have to wake up at 5, I have to get started, get my mind in the space, then I sit down and I spend at least 30 minutes on the playlist. If I feel like I need to mix new songs or make new songs, then I may spend as much as 2 or 3 hours. But I need to get my mind, and then physically, I need to be prepared. I need to physically wake my body up. It's physical and mental. Bringing back my old musical training. I studied music in college, and so I understood keys and relative minors and relative majors. And so I brought all of that back, and I started saying, okay, this song is in this key. And for instance, today, I was in Corte Inglés yesterday, and I was listening to Ed Sheeran, his song Shivers. And then I started hearing this da-da-da-da-da-da-na-na-na-na. I heard Vagabundo underneath. And so I look and I say, oh, they're in the same key. And then I went and I meshed them together, and it was a big hit this morning. I put them and mashed them up together. And so now my ear is starting to hear reggaeton melodies. If I could give myself any advice on that very first class, don't listen to what anybody says. Go with your instincts, because I could have gotten a lot further, a lot quicker if I had gone with my original instincts. I was very much the kind of person who wanted to please the teacher, my master instructor, and I did everything exactly the way that I thought my master instructor wanted me to do it. Then I quickly understood that with this, you have to present yourself authentically. You have to, first of all, be very sure and very confident of who you are. There's no way that you can be successful in this business with what we do, trying to imitate or trying to do what somebody else tells you to do. You have to be very sure about who you are. And then you, of course, need to learn the technical parts of it. You need to be technically proficient. You need to understand how to be safe and how to give a safe class to the community and take care of them and earn their trust. But, your musical identity, how you communicate with the class, making a connection, whether it's Miss or Mr. Sunshine or whether you're going to be more aggressive, but it needs to be definite and it needs to be authentic. So I would say go with your instincts. My instincts have always served me well, especially in this business. My first instincts have always served me well.